Here's the message that the world must know. God's love didn't just stop at sending His life to live among us. As wonderful as that may be, the reality is we would still be lost in our sins. We would still, spiritually speaking, be separated from God. Because of that sin, we wouldn't even get how glorious it is that He is with us. Because of that sin, we couldn't even fully capture how awesome and wonderful He really is. Like that song we sang today talking about the shining of His glorious face. We couldn't see the shining of His glory because of our sin. Something has to be done with sin in order for us to know and to enjoy the life of God. So look at verse 10. No more important verse in all the Bible than verse 10. Look at verse 10. Oh God, help us to see and to believe and to receive the message of verse 10. And this is love. Not that we have loved God. We didn't love Him. We didn't seek Him. We didn't know Him. We didn't have fellowship with Him. But He loved us and sent His Son to be the propitiation for our sins. There it is. That's the love of God. He loved us to the extreme that not only would His life be with us, but that precious, eternal, holy life would go to Calvary's cross in our place, so that all the sin we have committed and all that we have earned as the penalty for that sin would be placed on Him, and that He would become the substitute for our sins. He would pay the full penalty for our sins. That's why He describes it here as the propitiation. That's a word you don't use every day. What's propitiation means? It means that the wrath of God is appeased. The wrath of God toward you and your sin is removed. Why? Because one stood in your place and took it for you. One stood in your place and became sin in your place and paid the full penalty before God for your sin. This is the love of God. God's very nature is love. God is love. And the characteristic or the nature of this love is that it moves to do something. And God was moved in this love to send the life of Christ so that Christ could go in our place to the cross. You see now why it's so important that He be human. He was an actual literal blood sacrifice in our place. He couldn't just be a spirit. He couldn't just be a philosophy. A spirit couldn't die. A spirit couldn't suffer the wrath of God in our place. He had to be a true human, because in our place He would be offered as a propitiatory sacrifice, a wrath-appeasing sacrifice for our sins. This is how God's love has been made evident. He died in your place. He took and absorbed and removed the wrath of God in your place. That's love. That's love.